All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's week 18 of the RackMe podcast. It's me, yours truly, the Z-Man. With me is the commissioner, Ken Mosca, Tony Mazer. Commissioner, would you like to introduce today's guest, a fan favorite of the RackMe podcast?
As he is a fan favorite. He's the Hall of Famer, Dave Weinberg, who I know will give us some great insight into what's happening in Philadelphia. Dave, good to have you back, buddy. Happy New
thanks,
Year.
guys. Thanks for having me. Same Happy New Year to you guys too.
Yeah, a lot's going on right now in the NFL. Can you guys sort out this Buffalo Cincinnati situation? Where are they going to go? What's happening? How's it affecting our podcast?
Well, this is what I'm hearing from early this morning on the NFL Network is that the game has not been rescheduled yet. They're going to play the schedule for this weekend, but it appears if they need the game, and they're going to, as we get into this, you'll see that they need the game. They need to do the game. There will not be that week off between the championship games and the Super Bowl. So it'll be condensed that way, unless you guys are hearing something different. But that's what I heard this morning.
I was wondering if they were going to do it like what they did with the COVID year, is that it's going to be one of those where they're going to have to find a way to sneak it in on a Tuesday or something before.
Is that what I just said? Did I just say that?
But I'm just saying, like, as far as like that, it'll be like a midweek game as opposed to like doing it on a weekend.
It doesn't appear to be, Tony. It doesn't appear to be a midweek game. It appears that they're going to take that week away and just move the schedule back and take that week away between the championship games and the Super Bowl, which I think makes for a better Super Bowl anyway.
I agree.
I was thinking they could maybe sneak it in like during COVID year, like on a Tuesday or something.
As long as we have John Tesh doing the opening.
Oh, Lordy.
Is John Tesh still alive?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Let's get him on.
Let's get him on the show.
For the playoffs.
I'll talk to John Tesh. I don't care. So where are we standing? Like, does it affect?
Here's the thing. The commissioner made a decision, and his decision was everybody in the pool got a victory last week. Everyone in the pool got a victory. Tony and Luke Florentine, who's on fire, by the way. Tony and Luke Florentine won the week with 10 wins.
Wow.
Now, I had a system issue, so it'll be fixed. I was told it'll be fixed tonight. So, Chad, when we do all this, I'm going to send you the updated standings. So it goes out, but I'm going to send you the spreads from another account. Okay, another email account. So I don't have the standing access to it because the system crashed right now. But I have everybody's week standings here. Their wins and stuff like that. So
can you make a note saying that you added in case they don't watch the podcast? So
yes.
Okay.
I can do that. You want me to put that on the Patreon, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll put it up for free in public, but I just want a note from the commissioner, if you will.
A note from the commissioner.
Like Roger Goodell has to step up. So do you, Ken.
I thought that was the fairest thing to do.
That's why you're in charge. Let's get this puppy rolling. We got week 18 right in front of us. It's kicking off this Saturday, January 7th. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at Sam Tripoli's Las Vegas Raiders. Kansas City's get up -9.5. Let's go to our guest today, the Hall of Famer. Where do you stand on this one?
Well, I guess Kansas City's going to need the game too, right? To secure the number one seed. So I would imagine they're going to take care of business. I'll take Kansas City and give the points.
Tony Mazer from the Check Your Brain podcast, which you could sign up for as little as $5 on the Patreon.
Yes, indeedy. I'm going to go Kansas City as well because, I was going to say Oakland. The Raiders are just still a mess. Jarrett Stidham? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Their quarterback. It's the last week, and the Chiefs actually need this. Instead of resting their guys, they really need this if they want to continue keeping that top seed. So I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs, too. They can earn the number one seed in the AFC for the third time in 5 years. Go Kansas City like I care, Commissioner.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It'll be Kansas City across the board. The Raiders are a mess. Derek Carr they sent home, which is a whole nother podcast all its own. But yeah, I got Kansas City.
Trust me, we have time. We got Nate Bargatze's Tennessee Titans going into Jacksonville. Jacksonville's given up -5. What the hell happened to Tennessee this year, Ken?
Well, the injuries. They got crushed by injuries. So, Chad, you're saying 5. Here's how this line is moving along. You said 5? I have
6.
Yeah, I have 6. Opened at 5.5, went to 6.5. Now it's 6 at 3:42 Eastern.
I just refreshed at 6.
Okay, so it's 6. It's the Jags given 6. The Jags will cover this. They're at home. Titans are, I forget who's quarterbacking them.
It's Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Former
Sounds like
Tennessee Volunteer.
There you go. I'm taking the Jags and laying those 6.5.
Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, Jacksonville's going to roll
6.
in this one. They're smelling the playoffs now for the first time, or I guess the second time in the last 5 years or so. But yeah, Doug Peterson does them on a really on a roll. I'm taking the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's 6. I misspoke. It's 6, not 6.
Okay, I'm going Jaguars. The winner takes the AFC South here, so they're going to go in blazing. Yeah. Tony, what do you got?
Do we know if who won the first Titans-Jags game? Because if Tennessee wins this game, they're tied as far as standings go. So do they go with points, or like who won that game? That's what I'm wondering.
Division. Now, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's division record. But if Tennessee beats them twice, it's obviously head-to-head first. But if they split, it goes to division record first. Then it goes to conference record. I think further down you get into the points BS. So I don't know who won the first meeting there. I know Tennessee was pretty darn good early in the season. Didn't Jacksonville start 1-5?
Yeah, they started out pretty slow.
Yeah, I hate to assume, but unless you can look it up real quick, but
that's what I'm trying to see right now. Let's see. December 11th was the last time they played, and Jacksonville beat them 36-22 at Tennessee. I'm going to say it now. Taking away that game, I'll just leave that one out because that was a few weeks ago. I'm still going to go Jacksonville, and that's what shows you with having a good coach and a better organization. And what they did in kicking Urban Meyer to the curb last year and changing that culture immediately. How do you go from one of the most dysfunctional situations in Urban Meyer last year, where I don't think Urban Meyer won in America? I think his only win was overseas.
And you're right. And
then of course he gets back to his cushy job at Fox. And then you bring in Doug Peterson and immediately trusts his quarterback. You have a coach who was a quarterback who helped him win a Super Bowl a few years ago in Philly. Changes an organization immediately right there. So I'm going to go Jacksonville. They're going to win that division.
Well, I'm going to go back to Dave real quick. Dave, you covered Doug, who was loved in Philadelphia, and that whole split. Maybe you can shed some light on that, whether it was the Wentz, the Hurts thing or whatever, but Doug's loved, and he changed, as Tony just said, he changed the culture in Jacksonville so fast. But how about, what do you know of Doug and some of that backstory?
Yeah, I knew him. I don't know him very well, I guess, as the play term. But yeah, he's a fantastic coach, a great guy, and the Eagles never should have got rid of him. That was a huge mistake on the part of Jeffrey Lurie. I don't know I guess just from an outsider's point of view now, I'm assuming that it was just Wentz or Peterson, and he chose Wentz, and then that backfired on him too. So I'm a firm believer in Doug Peterson. I'm not surprised at all that he was able to turn the Jaguars back into a contender. I think he's a terrific coach.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? In all the, the few years or 5-6 years he was in Philadelphia, I mean, he had Hurts, he had Wentz, going well, and he wins the Super Bowl with Foles. The quarterback he has now is by far the best quarterback he's had as a head coach.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, some people were down on Trevor Lawrence last year, but not realizing all the dysfunction and stuff that was going on. And, now that he has a coach who believes in him, teammates believe in him. And that's a big part of being a head coach. You got to have the players believe in you too. And, he's changed that culture. They're behind him 100%, just like they were in Philly. And I'm not surprised at all that Trevor's having a great year and that the Jaguars are having a good year too.
Yeah, those fans love him. But we go to Sunday at 1:00, Chad, and it's Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Atlanta given 4, Chad.
Yeah, I'm going to go first on this one because is they going to sit Tom Brady because, they're already in?
No. They're not.
Bowles is gonna play him
He's supposed to play. I don't know how long he's going to play, but he's supposed to play.
because he can opt to sit a veteran quarterback if he wanted. And I don't know. Tom's gonna want to play. He has no wife to go home to. He has nothing.
Well, I mean, he had a big look. He had a big.
Yeah, the poor guy. His life is over. Huh?
He had a big week last week. Him and Mike Evans. That's the best week he's had since I think week 1 against Dallas.
So he's going to want to keep the momentum going. I mean,
yeah. Well, so I know they're on the road. But they have some momentum there. Atlanta really giving up. I mean, Tampa Bay's getting 4. Tampa Bay really getting 4? Holy cow! What do they know that we don't?
I think they're going to sit some starters. I mean, they're already in. Let's rest these guys before the playoffs. That's just I don't know.
They don't need rest. The way they've played this year, they need the reps.
Exactly. Yeah. This is really weird. I know Tampa Bay stinks against the spread this year, but this is a game they need. I don't know if what I'm missing on this, but I'm struggling. But go ahead, Chad.
I'm going to go Falcons. I have a weird feeling Falcons are going to win big. I don't know why. It's just a hunch. And plus I got to catch up on the commissioner here. I need some reps. I need some wins.
You need some reps. Listen to you.
Dave, what do you got?
I'll take the Falcons too, to be honest with you. Tampa Bay is like locked into the 4 seed, right? I guess.
Yeah.
So they have no incentive to win this. I mean, aside from like momentum or whatever, but I don't think Tom Brady certainly doesn't need to prove anything. So I'll take the Falcons.
Now let's go to Tony to overanalyze it.
Yes, I've got great info in this NFC South matchup here. Desmond Ridder is the quarterback for Atlanta right now.
Of course he is, Tony. Of course.
Because why not? Ridder, I barely know her.
Somebody's been writing.
That's right. I'm gonna go Tampa in this one. Even if I'm just gonna go Tampa.
Yeah,
I mean, because that's the thing is Tom Brady. Do you think Tom Brady wants to end his season going under 500 here?
And that's just what I was going to say. No, he doesn't want to go in the playoffs, even though it's a home game. At 8-9. Of course, they're playing the Cowboys, and he's always beating the Cowboys. But I can't imagine Tom Brady wanting to go to the playoffs 8-9. I think it's a joke. I can't believe the way they were dancing around in the locker room last week. 8-8, winning the division. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to take, like Tony, I'm taking the 4. I'm taking Tampa.
Win's a win. Let's go into this 1 o'clock game. I like to get all your thoughts before I answer. We got the Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Buffalo's giving up 7.5. I don't even want to touch this until you guys are done, Ken.
Again, Buffalo's playing for the number 1 seed. They have something to play for. They also are playing for their teammate, who, as the couple days have gone by, the hours since early this morning, evidently he's really starting to rebound really well. So there's more optimism out there. So I think they're going to do a walkthrough tomorrow. Their first one since that last game. I'm taking Buffalo. I'm going to lay the 7.5. I think there's problems in New England for Bob Kraft to come out on Monday and to say there's going to be changes on the offensive coaching side of the ball when that's Belichick's domain. And Belichick has always said, my contract says I hire and fire the coaches. Well, that's going to be an interesting dynamic there. I'm taking Buffalo. It's a lot of points, but they're playing for the number 1 seed. So I'm taking Buffalo, and I'm going to lay those 7.5.
Mr. Weinberg.
Boy, this is really a tough one just because of what unfolded. I don't know how the Bills are emotionally going to be able to rebound so quickly,
Yeah, are they going to be mentally messed up over this?
I think because he's doing better. I mean, he's doing better. So I think as the days go by and he progresses more and more, I think you're going to see a very motivated team.
Okay, I'm going to go with you then. I'm taking Buffalo. Just New England is just such a bad team, and their organization's a mess. But I'm kind of hesitating on this one, but I'll take the Bills.
Hey, Dave, did you ever think during the Belichick years you'd say New England's a mess right now?
Yeah, really.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yep, it sure is. Yep.
They would haunt the Bills, haunt them.
Exactly.
Tony, what about you?
Yeah, it seems like Bob Kraft, the biggest thing that he cared about more this season is inviting that guy who's yelled out by that loudmouth Raiders fan
Yeah.
onto the field. Yeah, Bills have something to play for right now, and a lot of people picking Buffalo before the season a couple of years ago to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. You know, something like with what we saw on Monday night is that kind of motivation for a team that was obviously was playing for a playoff and playing for something more to try to shake off that they can't win the big game. And this really, in those kinds of strife motivates a team to get them to that next level. So I'm definitely going Buffalo, and there's a possibility they can get that next game and win that top seed there. So I'm definitely going with their momentum now.
Well, I listened to what all you guys have to say. I think I can make it into a bow. A lot of good insight on this game, and it made me think of the Disney movie, Remember the Titans, with Denzel Washington, where he came in, two teams, it was a mixed rivalry. It was race, but they came together and they won. They won the whole damn thing. And then the night they're celebrating, Jerry gets in a car accident, paralyzed from the waist down. And you know what they did? They rallied and they won.
You realize nothing about that movie's true, right? Except the fact that they won.
It's like Rudy.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
My friend,
he did get paralyzed in a car accident, but it was after the state championship game. He played in that game.
Oh, he played in the game?
Bertier. Yeah, he sure did. Yep.
Oh, well. There goes my analogy.
Sorry to ruin your. It was an entertaining movie, but none of it was true.
It was a great recap. Nice movie capsule.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You definitely remember them.
I remember the lies.
Who are you taking?
My buddy's father went to Notre Dame when Rudy was there, and he was at that game. No one was chanting Rudy. Nobody.
My mom went to high school with the Rudigers. I
Really?
think like the only girl in the family, and there's like 10 or 11 kids, and they were all nicknamed Rudy. So when the movie came out, she's like, wait, which one are we talking about? They're all Rudy.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
All right, let's keep it rolling. 1 o'clock game.
Who's your pick, Chad? Give me your pick.
I was going with the Bills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Until Dave came in and ruined my whole.
I'm sorry.
Cardiff Electric's Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have. Yeah, that's right. We got Nick Swartzen's Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears in Soldiers Field. Minnesota's giving up 7.5. Commissioner, what do you got on that one?
I'll tell you what, this line is crazy. Opened at 1, went to 5.5. Now it's 7.5. Yeah. I mean, and that's all. I mean, that's all in the last 3.5 hours. I mean, that's crazy. The Bears quarterback is out, right? Isn't he out? Yeah, Fields is out. Justin Fields is out. Listen, Vikings, crapped the bed last week. They're frauds. They need to really show something here. It's a lot of points for a division game, but they need to show something and have some momentum. I'm taking the Vikings.
Tony.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings. The Bears are a mess, and they're the reason they have 3 wins this year is because of Justin Fields. The rest of the team just stinks. Nathan Peterman is going to be starting for them, I believe, this weekend, and the Bears are looking to try to get at least one of those top seeds right here, and depending on what Houston does this weekend, they can get close to that. So I think they'll probably just end up packing up shop, looking at vacation plans and flights and stuff. So definitely going Minnesota here. Mr.
Hall of Famer, who do you got?
Yeah, same. I'm going with the Vikings. Do they still have a shot at the number 1 seed or no?
You know what?
They're out of the mix at the number 1 seed.
Yeah. I think they're locked in at 2. No. They're not locked in at 2 yet. They're fighting the 49ers for 2.
Right. Well, regardless, I'll take the Vikings because the Bears stink.
And the Bears do stink. So let's make it a whole thing. Vikings. Let's go around. Let's get another 1 o'clock game, man. We got the Ryan Sickler's Baltimore Ravens first. Josh Snead's Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Here's another one. They can be mentally prepared. They're giving up -5.5, Commissioner.
This is you said Baltimore, right? Ravens at Bengals.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here, Chad. Sorry about that.
You're allowed to do what you want. You're running the
I appreciate that. Talk about frauds. Is Baltimore a bunch of frauds?
They
Can
are
they
who
win
we,
a close? Can they win a close game? I mean,
they are who we thought they were.
They've been fraud since '96, but
Yeah.
that's a spurned Cleveland fan here.
Yeah. Now, I mean, here's Cincinnati coming back off that same, off that same game, but I have no faith. That's a lot of points. I have no faith in Baltimore, so I'm taking Cincinnati.
Mr. Weinberg.
Again, like this is a similar situation, like you were saying with Buffalo. How do the Bengals respond? How do they get focused again? But yeah, the Bengals are the much better team. I'm going to take them.
Yeah, will Lamar Jackson return? Do you know anything about that?
I have him not playing. Not playing.
And how much rush would he show? But if he's not playing, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to Tony and come back to me.
What's our line that we have? Because I have -7 here.
6.5.
6.5. Okay. So it's kind of all over the place, but it's around a touchdown. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm just not impressed.
It went up to 7. I refreshed. You're right. We need to read. It's 7 now.
I'm still gonna go Cincinnati. By the way.
By the way, Ken, Greg Roman's family's never going to forgive you for this. You know that, right?
I know. When I see Greg, Greg's a Holy Spirit high school grad, just like I am. And yeah, I'll apologize to Greg when I see him. But, I've sent notes to him to come on this program, but I understand why he cannot. But yeah, I'll see him at the local watering hole that way, at Vagabond. And
there you go.
Discuss those end arounds that he likes to call. It's 7 now. So who'd you take, Tony? I'm gonna ask.
I still pick Cincinnati.
Does that make a difference for you, Dave? It's 7, not 6.5.
No, I already took the Bengals. They're winning by 10.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. I'm doing the same.
Throw me down for the Bengals, and I got breaking news for the people that listen to Compound Media. Turns out, thank you to Elon Musk, Anthony Kuma has his original Twitter back. His original ONA Twitter back.
He's had it for 3 weeks.
Oh, he's just not tweeting on it? No, he's got his original, like the very first one he ever opened.
Oh, okay.
The one with like almost 300,000 followers.
Oh, he's living large, isn't he?
He loves it. He loves Twitter. It's his favorite day. Good for you. Thank you, Elon. Let's keep this thing rolling. We got another 1 o'clock game. We got the Houston Texans versus Bob and Tom's Indianapolis Colts in Indiana. Colts are giving up 2.5. Tony Mazer.
This is the game for futility right now. I mean, this is
the game of the week.
Goodness gracious. I mean, Houston right now has the top seed. They have Lovie Smith. They want to try to get into next year. They've actually been playing better. They're just not a good team.
Yeah.
The Colts are just horribly coached. I have -2.5 right now. I don't think the Texans are going to want to blow this opportunity because, with Chicago right there as well. I'm gonna go with the Colts in this one, but I think this is just going to be one of those where who actually wants to win this game, and I think the Colts they have slightly more talent. I have no other information on this game. I don't care about this game. I don't care. I don't think anyone in Indianapolis or Houston cares about this game, and I'm including the people on the field too.
The Texans have the number 1 pick, but I think the Colts will win ugly. So that's where I'm going with that one. Ken Mosca.
Yeah, Tony said it all. The Texans have the number 1 pick right now. If they were to win this game, and I have to see who it is.
Chicago's the number 2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's going to lose this game. I'm taking the Colts. Dave,
Mr. Hall of Famer.
Same, taking the Colts. Yeah, Houston doesn't want to blow the number 1 pick. So yeah, I'll go Indianapolis.
By the way,
wait, I want to ask the panel something because this is a non-football question, but because we have Dave Weinberg here and we have Ken Mosca, and I know Chad, you're a big fan. I think the 9th time I'm watching The Last Dance, the Jordan documentary. So there was that time in '93 when after the Bulls, I think, were down 0-2 to the Knicks. Michael Jordan and his dad went down to Atlantic City, went to Bally's, I believe. Jordan's story was he had to get away. What
Mhm.
do we know what the actual story was? Was there more to that story other than that he's like, I got to get away from New York, gamble for a couple hours with my dad, and then come back? Was there more to it?
Um, don't know. Jordan does like Atlantic City a lot.
Hmm.
But I would kind of buy that to a degree, that maybe he just, just wanted to get an escape, and AC is not that far away. So why not go down there for a couple hours and, you know, play some craps or whatever he
Listen,
did.
Daryl Strawberry used to do the same thing. I believe he was at Bally's, Dave, but he also
Mhm.
spent some time at Trump Plaza. Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, he used to like Trump Plaza a lot.
Mm.
And if Trump knew he was going and something was set up, he, always had his own little pit area to gamble in and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I know he was at both of those places.
Because I was interested because hearing Atlantic City and since it said it was like as soon as I'm watching that, then we get the text says, "Hey, Dave Weinberg's going to come on the podcast." I'm like, perfect. This is serendipity right now. And it just makes me remember the days when I actually liked sports a lot more.
Tell you who made me like sports the other day was our boy Donovan Mitchell with the Cleveland Cavaliers scoring 71.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, Chad, and way to bring that up on your Sit Down Zumock podcast. Chad, who was that game against?
The Chicago Bulls.
There you go.
What's the there you go connection? I'm curious.
Because the game before, the Cavs crushed the Knicks. And I was waiting for you to tie it together on Sit Down Zumock, but you didn't do it. And I went, oh, my man, Chad. I thought maybe Tyler, if he knew more about it. Yeah, they crushed. And that's the guy who, Donovan Mitchell, you and I talked about this, Chad, at the time of the trade. The Knicks thought they had that trade done. If you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Cavs jumped in and made the deal. And you even said to me, you said, from what you had heard, this guy was really, really good. And obviously he's really, really good.
Oh, the city of Cleveland loves him. And the best part is LeBron James has to sit in LA and watch this young team win without him. And he's seething. He's seething with this old Lakers team. Fantastic. That's what you get, LeBron, for being wishy-washy.
Dave, hey, Dave, you got to subscribe to Sit Down Zumock and check your brain. Yeah, those guys, Chad and Tony.
Okay, definitely.
Chad and Tony do really. They do their separate thing, but they also come together for Mondays with Mazer.
Awesome!
It's really good stuff. It really.
By the
is.
way, I'm taking my podcast on the road for a couple of times. Here's a little plug for my podcast on Patreon. Is I'm going to be doing my podcast. Weirdly enough, Chad, from the site of the old Richfield Coliseum tomorrow.
All right,
which is just a field. I mean, where Michael Jordan hits the shot over Craig Elo, and I went to go see Major Harris and the Cleveland Thunderbolts of the AFL back in the day, and now it's a field that you would have no idea that Frank Sinatra opened the place, and I think Roger Daltrey and the Who closed it out, or Billy Joel, or forgetting which one. And then I think later on this week, I'll be up in Michigan, and I'm going to do another podcast at the site of the old Pontiac Silverdome.
So are you going to do video?
Yeah, these are all in video.
I would just do audio and go in your backyard instead of going there.
That's true. I could just have a backdrop like I'm doing beers in the balcony with Stuttering John.
I'm here at the site of the Richfield Coliseum. Let me paint the picture here. All right, let's get this thing going. Oh, Dave, what's your Twitter where people can follow you before we go further?
Dave Weinberg 19.
Dave Weinberg 19. Good follow. Yep. Good tweets.
Thanks.
We got another 1 o'clock game. We got the New York Jets versus Jim Florentine's struggling Miami Dolphins. The Florentine household is not happy. The Jets are giving up -1. You got the Dolphins 8-8. You lead the charge, Ken, because
well, I listen, there's no Tua. Okay, Bridgewater is iffy because of a dislocated pinky. It's not broken. It was dislocated. He tried to come back. He couldn't throw the ball. I mean, if he can't go, who does that leave? Earl Morrall? Does Morrall come out? They activate Earl Morrall maybe. Jets giving up Don Strock. There you go.
I say bring in Kaepernick for a game. I'm just kidding.
I just can't believe. I just can't believe the Jets are. I mean, I can't believe it. I'm listen. I don't care if it's Mother Cabrini, quarterback in Miami. I'm taking Miami.
I'll just give you a heads up. Tua, who's out with his eighth concussion. It's going to be Teddy Bridgewater to break the 5-game losing streak.
Is Teddy
Is
going
he
to be
playing? Wait a minute, is he
'Cause-
playing?
He hurt his finger, I
Yeah,
believe.
this morning it was doubtful. This morning he was doubtful.
And they signed Mike Glennon, who is just the backup of all backups.
Oh,
who,
gosh.
by the way, was
Oh.
very nice to me when I was at Tampa Bay Buccaneers camp back in 2014. It was really cool. We hung out. So I've always rooted for him, but he's just not a good quarterback.
He's not, no.
So, by the way, I'm going to take the Jets in this game, mainly because when I was with our friend Chris Braun, who works with the Dolphins, and Jim Florentine down in Key West, the Dolphins have been 1-5 since that Key West trip. So, yeah, didn't really work out too well. I'm going to go the Jets in this one.
Who did the Dolphins sign to be quarterback?
Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon can pull a Baker Mayfield like he did when he picked up
True. With the Rams, yeah.
go downfield. You never know what's going to happen. They can
He
still
stinks.
All
Ain't
right.
happening.
Okay,
He
we'll go
stinks.
Jets then. We'll go Jets. All right, Dave.
Jets. Jets for me too.
Jets.
What am I missing? Why am I taking Miami? What am I missing here?
Well,
They're at home.
They
They're
still
at
have
home.
They
They have
still
a
have a very good
faint-
team.
Yeah, they're not in the playoffs yet, right?
They have a shot at the AFC wild card.
Okay, so they okay. I'm taking Miami.
They're going to game. All right, there you go. There's some optimism. Good luck to the Florentine family.
Optimism.
We got another 1:00 game. We got the Carolina Panthers 6-10 going up versus the New Orleans Saints 7-9 in New Orleans -3.5. Dave, what do you got?
The Saints still in line for a wild card spot.
No,
No.
they are not.
You know what? I'll go Carolina. What the heck? Saints are probably done. They're kind of mailing it in. No, Carolina's too, but they've been showing a little bit of life here and there. So I'll take the Panthers. What the heck?
Tony.
Yeah, I'll go Panthers. I have nothing else to say in this game. This game's just a stinker.
Yeah, I'm going Carolina as well.
Well, I think it's the game of the week, guys. You're gonna want to tune in for this one. I mean, it's going to be a rivalry. It's going to go balls to the wall, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go Saints too. Why not? Okay, let's keep this one going. This one's a 1:00 game. Tony Mazur's Pittsburgh Steelers versus Earl Skakel's Pittsburgh Steelers. Tony Mazur's Cleveland Browns versus Earl Skakel's Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh Heinz Field. Pittsburgh's giving up -3.5. Tony, you lead the charge, and I will follow.
So in 20 years, I'm looking this up. The Steelers have not had a below 500 record. They've had a couple of 8-8 seasons when it was still a 16-game schedule, but they have not finished it during the Mike Tomlin era. Mike Tomlin does not want to be 8-9 this season, and he certainly does not want to lose to the Cleveland Browns. Kenny Pickett, the past couple of games, has been dynamite down the stretch for them, and it's a nice springboard for them going into next year. This is what, as a Browns guy, have covered the Browns for a number of years. It's amazing how the Browns are trying to ascend, and they're probably going to finish in last place once again. And the Steelers, this is supposed to be the rebuilding year, and they could be 9-8 during a rebuilding year. That goes to show how much better of an organization the Steelers are than the Cleveland Browns. It's just even if the Steelers do not win a Super Bowl every year or even make the playoffs every year, they're just a better and well-run organization. It's I see 2.5. I think the Steelers are going to roll. I think they're going to play very well and beat the crap out of the Browns this weekend.
They're going to sneak into the playoffs. Kenny Pickett, like you said, saved the season in Baltimore. And the Browns could play spoiler, but with Deshaun Watson, I don't see it. I am not impressed with this guy. He's got guaranteed money. They should have worked in every time you score a touchdown, you get a massage for free, but they didn't do that.
That means he's only had like 4 massages then. He's really hasn't led them on many touchdown drives. And by the way, here's the game breaker is a guy I'm really impressed with in year 2 is Najee Harris. And the Browns cannot stop the run. Ken Mosca can be the running back against the Browns and will probably pick up a 100-yard gain.
Wow,
the Browns
this just
cannot sign the practice squad.
No, Ken Mosca will be running back for the Cleveland Browns this Sunday, according to my sources. This is exciting.
Give Nick Chubb a rest.
Yeah.
The Browns cannot, no matter who they put out there. They made Austin Eckler look really good earlier this year. It doesn't matter. The Browns make anyone who is a running back look pretty good. And Najee Harris is going to run all over them. So I'm going Steelers here.
As a diehard Cleveland Browns fan, go Steelers. Put me down for the Steelers. What do you got? Hall of Famer.
Pittsburgh as well. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be a star in this league. I know he's had some ups and downs this year, but I think a lot of his potential. I'm going to go Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh as well. Just for everything that you guys said.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Rack
passion
us.
behind it. Rack all of us. Okay, 425 game. We got Gino Bisconte's Los Angeles Chargers. This guy gets it. Versus Brant Dobler's Denver Broncos in Denver. The Chargers are giving up -3. I have no analysis on this one. Tony, do you?
Not really, other than I'm picking the Chargers. The only thing is I was surprised by how Denver played last week, but I guess that when you fire your coach, you put an interim guy. It's going to be one of those situations where it can go either way. You're either going to play very well or you're going to be ill prepared. And they actually played much better against Kansas City. When we were talking about that Denver, who's going to want to take that job? And we were mentioning guys like Jack Del Rio. I think could be like a Bill O'Brien would take a job like that. It's just one of those guys that has been in the league, has had some success. There were rumors about Jim Harbaugh, but Jim Harbaugh said that the only job it looks like he would take would be Carolina. So if he leaves Michigan, he would go to Carolina. They asked him about the Denver job. He said the team's just not talented enough.
Well, he did say, here's the thing though. They said this morning that $20 million a year was being thrown around for Harbaugh, $25 million for Sean Payton. They know they have to overpay for a good coach because of their situation. Harbaugh later on today said regarding Carolina, he said, I kind of see myself staying in Michigan, is what he said today. He has a hell of a program there, and Michigan really gets that transfer portal. They are kicking ass in that portal. What they're getting out of there, the players.
It's about time.
Yeah, he's beaten Ohio State 2 straight years, and now in 2023, Ohio State's going to Michigan. So he's
how'd that TCU game work out?
Oof.
Well, you know what? That's 4 weeks. I know Dave. You're right. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. The mistakes that Michigan made, and I think that stuff can be. And TCU made mistakes that can be, chalked up, Dave, to 4 weeks sitting around. Holy cow, 4 weeks, really? You need?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's crazy. I mean, I look at Harbaugh's bowl record. He's 1-6, Dave. He's 1-6. In the bowls. He's still regarded as a really good coach. I think he stays at Michigan at least another year. I don't think he's interested in any of those 2 jobs. And Denver, whoever they get, is going to overpay. You think Sean Payton's going to go there? No, I think Payton would go to Carolina first. And if Dallas goes to Tampa, first round and loses, Mike McCarthy's out. Okay, and it's not going to be Dan Quinn. I can tell you right. Dan Quinn will not be the Cowboys head coach. It'll be Sean Payton if that happens.
We got all the picks?
No, I have mine. I have Tony's. So I need yours. Sorry, I need yours.
Mine
and Dave's.
Go first, Dave, because I have some expert analysts. Right? I have a whole thing.
You know what, Chad.
I am taking the Chargers. I think they are going to the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
There we go. There's a big take.
10-6. Okay. This is a big stay away game. The Broncos season's finally coming to the end. Chargers players are going to rest. So heads, Chargers, tails, Broncos. I'm going Chargers with this one. There we go. Keep it going. We got Eddie Trunk's New York Giants versus Big J Okerson's Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's given up -14.5. I guess they're going to rest everybody.
14.5 now. It was 14. Damn.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me refresh. I think it's 14.
It's 14.
I have
right.
14, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Let's start with Dave Weinberg.
Yeah, this is his squad
because they're not committed to Hurts this weekend yet, are they, Dave?
No, but it's not going to matter. The Giants are going to rest everybody. They have absolutely no. I mean, they can talk and double speak all they want about maybe the momentum and all that crap, but they're not going to risk anything. So I think the Eagles are just going to roll in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with even a scoring predictions. 31-20 Eagles. I have no way to back that up. That's just me guessing, by the way.
That means you're taking the Giants?
I'm taking the Giants on that one. Tony.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Eagles win. I'm gonna say Giants cover though. So I'm going Giants.
I'm going Giants as well. Yeah, Eagles, will
it's
win.
A lot of points.
And like Dave just said, and
True.
Brian Daboll is saying how, that we're playing. Everyone's playing. Well, let's see how long they play,
Right.
All right, we got 4 more games on the docket. We got the Arizona Cardinals going up against Dan Soder, San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. Man, these games are going to be boring. They're giving up 14 right now. That's what I got in San Francisco, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, they're terrible. The Cardinals, they're terrible. I'm taking the 49ers. That defense is great, and I still think they're battling. They're battling for the second or third seed, right? So I'm taking the Niners and laying those 14.
Dave?
49ers, they are going to the Super Bowl as well.
Everyone's going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to go 49ers. They've won 9 games straight. They want to keep winning no matter who's playing at this point, Tony.
The immortal David Blau is still quarterbacking for the Cardinals. David Blau, who is a former Browns player and played with the Lions. The Cardinals just stink. I mean, what a downfall for a team that went undefeated. It was like 11-0 last year to start the season, and I think since then they've won like 5 games. They've won 5 games since around that time. So I'm definitely going with San Francisco in this one.
We got them all in, Commissioner?
Yep, J.J. Happ's last game.
All right, 3 games left. We got Kate Quigley's Los Angeles Rams versus Craig Gass's Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle's giving up -6.5. Tony, what do you got?
I believe isn't this the site of next year's Winter Classic? It's going to be the Golden Knights versus the Kraken.
I wouldn't.
I don't even know. I don't even know what sport that is.
Hockey.
And I'm a Rangers
Release the
fan.
Kraken.
Yeah, I'm a Rangers fan. These team names, I don't even know those teams.
Yeah, it's kind of like the 90s when they decided, hey, guys, let's take those teams from Canada and move them to Arizona. Because that's what you think. When you think of Phoenix, Arizona, you think of ice hockey. Yeah, Seattle needs this game. Seattle still is I believe they're the final wild card spot. And
yes,
they
are
desperately need this game. And, and we'll talk about the other game in a couple of games, the final one on Sunday night. But I'm going to go Seahawks in this one. I'm going to say they keep it going and they beat Baker and the Rams.
Commissioner?
Yeah, I'm going to lay that 6.5. They need this to get into the playoffs. And although, Baker is either going to be with the Rams next year, I see Baker either at the Rams. And it would not shock me if he's a New York Jet. So I'm taking Seattle.
Interesting. Mr. Weinberg.
Yeah, I'll roll Seahawks as well. Yeah, they need the game. Rams are done. So, yeah, Seattle.
All right, throw me down for Seattle, too. 2 more games. We got Ken Moska's Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins in Washington. Dallas is giving up 7.5. Ken, you lead the charge on this one.
Yeah, this was 6.5 earlier today. This is brutal. Dallas has a chance of winning the division, and the NFL moved the games, right, Dave? They moved the games, the Dallas game and the Eagles game to 4:25.
Right. Right.
So which is interesting. So I mean, Dallas has got to get on a roll. They really do. They got to show something. I hate to do this. I mean, they're going to win the game. I just don't know if they're going to cover. But they got the Redskins. The Redskins have so many injuries. I'm taking Dallas, and I'll lay the points.
Mr. Weinberg, what do you got?
Washington's still alive?
No,
they're out. Okay.
Yeah, Green Bay's victory last week knocked them out.
Okay, they have nothing to play for. I'll go Cowboys.
Throw me down for Cowboys too. Tony, what do you got?
Yeah, how about Washington last week? They play the Browns, and Ron Rivera benches Heineke because he hadn't been playing all that well to get a spark with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz did nothing, and that team just there was one time where they had, I think, like a 21 play 96-yard drive for a touchdown, which was pretty impressive, and they did nothing the rest of the game. And it was, I think it came out that they didn't realize that they were still on the line for a playoff appearance. So that's just complete ineptness by Ron. You would think Riverboat Ron would have it, just, you know what, together here.
He thought win or lose last week that this week was the game that counted.
Yeah.
That's what he thought. So yeah, you're right. You figure Ron would have known that, but no, he was surprised. You saw a look on his face.
I'm going to go Dallas. They need that, like you said, Ken, that they need something to go into the playoffs. They need kind of that momentum. And I think Washington's kind of demoralized, especially when you're benching quarterbacks in the second to last week on a time where you need a playoff appearance and you don't even realize it. I think that demoralizes the team. So I'm going Dallas here.
Let's go back to Dave Weinberg for a minute. Dave, you covered the Eagles for a long time. When Wentz was still there, as things were falling apart around him, what did the team think of him, the teammates? Because I had heard that, there was some real friction there.
Yeah, Carson had his supporters, Zach Ertz being one, a couple other guys, but by and large, Nick Foles was able to in the 2017-2018 season I'm talking about, he was able to capture that locker room in the way that Carson never could. I don't know if his personality, beliefs, attitude, I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, Carson was never able to establish himself as that leader that you really need, and that was his downfall, really.
And it continues to be. Go ahead, Chad.
Last game of the week, maybe we'll see. We got Dave Landau's Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. Packers are giving up 4.5. I got to remind everyone, the Packers lost 5 straight in the beginning, including a game against Detroit. But what happens now, Ken?
Well, Green Bay is on a roll. They are on a roll.
He figured it out. They figured it out.
Yeah, look, and we know that most of the time Detroit covers. If Detroit were to cover this, I'll buy Gladwell Ape a steak with the bone in. Next time I'm in Tampa.
Well, Gladwell's listening. He's listening, just so it's on record, right?
Yeah. So I will do that. I'm taking the Packers, and they'll win, and I believe they're going to cover. Do I feel great about it? No, but I just don't think I think Detroit away from home. They're not going to cover 4.5.
Throw me down with the Packers too, Dave Weinberg.
Ken, will you buy me a steak in Atlantic City? If
absolutely, old Homestead.
I am going Lions. They are going to the playoffs.
Wow, Tony, will you buy Tony a steak if you go to Cleveland?
No, I want a White House sub.
Look at this.
There you go.
That was one of the best. Talking. That was seriously one of the best sandwiches I ever had. Was at White House, and I went to. Aren't there 2 of them? There's the one that's on the corner and one in the casino, right?
Yes.
One in Hard Rock. Yep, Hard Rock has one. Yep.
Dave, as you know, Dave, they ship around the world. White House. I have to send Tony. I have to send Tony some White House.
There you go.
It was tremendous. And I'm kicking myself that I wasn't able to see you that night, Ken, when I was in Atlantic City. But we are determined to make another appearance pretty soon.
There you go.
And a show.
That's right. Who do I want to win? Who do I think will win? I would love for Detroit to win this game. I don't think they will. I think Green Bay does. And so if indeed Green Bay wins, that's all going to depend on what Seattle does. And at that point, do they look at points? What's going to happen there? That's going to be an interesting discussion to go forward. But on the surface right now, I think Green Bay is just they figured it out. They figured it out, and they're time tested. And I don't think Detroit is time tested right now. They need a little bit of experience, and I would love to see Detroit go to the playoffs. It's just such a great story. I just don't think they have the horsepower.
that's a bet I'd like to pay off to Gladwell. I really like what Dan Campbell has done. Look, they have their quarterback. Goff got screwed with the Rams. They have their quarterback. He's 28 years old. He's had after a really slow start, he's played really, really well. And they're obviously building something in Detroit. Let's see if they can maintain it. But you're right, Tony. I don't know if they're there just yet, especially on the road.
Well, that's week 18 in the books, guys. We did it.
Before we go, what's everyone's prediction for the national championship game next week? I know, I don't know how much college football fans you are, but we talked about Michigan losing to TCU. TCU is, I don't know what the line is right now, but I would assume they're way underdogs to Georgia right now.
Well, I'm looking it up. So if you guys want to talk about it,
Go ahead,
the line is 12.5.
Oh, it's 12.5. I think Georgia is going to roll them. I think Georgia is going to score 28 or 31 first half points. I could see 28 or 31-3, 31-10 at the half. I think Georgia is going to roll them.
This will be a halftime, one of those halftime games. You're like, it's getting late. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Going to go to the White House.
All right. For Ken Mosca, Tony Mazer, Dave Weinberg, that was a RackMe football podcast. Sign up to the Patreon and you can get video, audio. This one's going out for free for audio if you're listening on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes. Hit subscribe, hit 5 stars, and we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Take care.
Dave.
Thanks for
Thanks
coming.
a lot for having me. I appreciate it.